having this team is like a very big support from my perspective. That's what I was telling my husband too. I would love to recommend to anyone. Of course, I think my husband would be the next. He'll definitely come to you soon. So yeah, I feel like your team is really, I think it's a very good concept you came up with. A lot of people might be in need at this point of time. He's been following you for a while because you contacted him and he's like, go with him. I think he can get you that.
The following is a conversation with our client Srilata, who reached out to us as she wanted to up level in her career. Now, she had been stuck at a senior manager level for quite some time in her career, looking for her big break, but couldn't progress because of the lack of opportunities in her current company. Now, she comes from a background of enterprise applications, more specifically SAP-based applications. We helped her land a director of IT applications role in a large company environment, and in the process, we also helped her bag a VP level interview opportunity, but she felt more aligned with a director level and she wanted to steadily grow in her career, and now she feels more confident than ever before to take on even greater challenges later in her career now that she was able to get her big break. So now in this conversation, she underscores how her team's approach was crucial in landing her the role, and beyond that, how her team supported her to stay calm and decisively secure the result in one of the toughest IT job markets. So without further ado, let's crack right into it. Excited to have you here and excited to be having this call. I know only 3 months ago we had your onboarding call. I'm happy to have you offboarded here. So that said, how do you feel right now? To be honest, it seems like we had this exact conversation about 3 months ago. I guess the way I remember it, you were interested in, because you had been in the senior manager level for quite some time, and that was the barrier you were wanting to break through. Seems like you, of course, ended up doing that. What are your thoughts in the kind of result that you have gotten?
Very happy the way, especially your team, worked with me. I'll just start with, I think having you on board with my job search made me, I'm not the only one person fighting something. I have you guys. So I think that itself, especially I think, some of your clients might be really, they want to have a job, right? Sometimes who come to you. So having this team is like a very big support from my perspective. That's what I was telling my husband too. Actually, I came to know about you from my husband too.
I see.
It's you're not alone in this search or sometimes a fight to find a position you like. So your team was really helpful, especially I should mention Karan and Sarthik. Karan is I message him, next minute I get a call. He's so good. Yeah.
That does go into his record for his internal growth within the company as well. He's been training really hard. So I'm glad that you found that support pretty prompt.
Yeah, Karan's is I usually tell him anything. Kind of the way he responds and the way he talks with the people, I think he makes it very comfortable. So yeah, and Sarthak is good. He finds stuff and gets me. It's a good team. So suddenly after a month, I was like, where am I going? Nothing, because when you don't get calls, you get into that mode, right? Sometimes ups and lows.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, we need a call, Karan.
Yeah.
Then I talked to both of them and I told them, okay, it's not you team and me team. We are a team, right? Working together. Discount me in the team, how I can help you guys. So yeah, I think I had a very good support from your team and I really appreciate it. And whenever I had questions, they supported me. Sometimes if they need some few things from my side too. I always feel it's both sides. I'm like, okay, I gave you this and you do the job. I don't think that's the way it works. It's always
collaborative.
They need inputs from me to understand what I'm looking for. And then they can help me. Oh, maybe Shri, this is not right for you. Maybe. So I think always it's both ways that work between me, Sarthak and Karan. So yeah, I feel like your team is really, I think it's a very good concept you came up with. A lot of people might be in need at this point of time.
To be honest, we started with the traditional. We looked at what was available in the market, and we started with the coaching space. Hey, here's how you write your resume. Here's how you do X, Y, Z. And a lot of the operational muscle that is needed, because you guys are already so busy with your day jobs as well as so many competing priorities, that it kind of started grooving into that realm where, hey, can we support this? And then in this started becoming a service where hey, can we train resources? Because what we need to learn about the industry, we need to learn about the technicalities of your role. But once we do, we are able to find that it's the same marketplace everybody is playing off of.
Yeah.
Another observation which I made is for when we look at enterprise applications, because your role was at a blend of heavy program management, but at the same time program management in a specific area. So the challenge that comes is like, so SAP shops are SAP shops, Oracle shops are different. Like, so they already bifurcate
I'm
by
very,
that.
yeah, I know. It's all over.
Yeah,
I
and
understand.
then they further bifurcate by modules. Then they further bifurcate by like the industries, because like here we have supply chain challenges, we have sales challenges, right? Despite that, then there comes the location issues and so on and so forth. So when I was looking at this market, like I don't know, because we have other candidates in similar shoes as yours, and we see like, yeah, it's been a
My
tough
dog
market, to be honest. Oh, no,
Sorry,
yes.
sorry. Yeah, I totally get it. Like your team had to work through a lot of like, different streams and put me through. So that's the reason that's the where I think my help comes in. Like any client help comes in so that, they can help. Okay, sometimes like when Sarthak gives me like senior manager, then I'm like, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go up.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I'm like, okay, he understands and then I'll work it through.
Yeah, no worries.
Can you please take one? Sorry about it.
So, how would you say? So, when you think of the entire service as a whole, which part was the most helpful, or do you think like this, the little bit of support through each and every part in general was helpful?
Actually, from the beginning, if I say the resume. Okay, the trend is sometimes you want to write a whole thing about you and all, but you guys are like, no, that's not needed. You give them the last 10 years and then keep it. So the resume was like, and also like, here's something like more, make it so funky kind. No, just list it down, make it very generic one. That really helped. I think that my resume, after it was, cleaned up and your team did it, it was good. And then of course, they made me do that banner for LinkedIn. That was also cool. I think when people look at, they just get what I am, rather than going through my whole profile. They don't need to look at all that. Like it's giving that like first glance at you. So those are very helpful. And then jobs, I think they struggle a little bit because they don't know what I need, so I had to help. But still, like once I get the job, only thing I observed is like I think either we should submit the resume after we get the connections, because a lot of times in between the submission and the connections, you're getting the rejecting email.
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes they look over it. I think sometimes I ask that, should I wait for your connection note to send? You don't know, right? Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but that's the only lag I see. But I think your team is working with so many people.
Yeah.
And also finding contacts is not easy either. It's not like you go to LinkedIn and getting an email is, I think it's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
You need to find like, for example, miscon.com or like bosch.com, or they're using a different thing, right? Are they doing first name, full first name, last name? Like, I don't know how your algorithms work or like how you get it, but it's not easy. I understand that.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes time and some companies are difficult. But I was like, maybe I should wait and send both together. That was my thing. But I think at the end of the day, I think if the company really needs you, they come to you. That's what I was like. I applied this, they came to me and they thought I'm actually, maybe I'm over. They thought I'm overqualified for their position. So they were literally asking me, like everybody, like their VP, their some director, everybody, are you sure you did like ERP implementation to the end? Are you sure you just, so this is NA support, but it's big. They have a big team and they have a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, no, nothing is like development and support are not like one is big, one is small, not that. Like you're doing a job, get it done kind. So then interview was more, they don't want to know about me. They're like, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable? I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But we had a like whole 1 hour discussion. I think he really liked it. He didn't even wait. I mean, like, by the evening, they wanted invitation. I'm like, okay, let me tell Varun first.
So, and it seems like when we compare that to where you were working, it's like it's such a direct correspondence, like in terms of like the industry is the same.
Food industry and right.
So I feel like perhaps they also saw the fit and they're like, okay, it's a local candidate, let's go with her.
Because they want 3 days in office.
Yeah. And that has been becoming a challenge in the market, definitely, where like people, that remote work is not as common as people like to believe.
Yeah,
and that
people
has
want you there. And one more thing, I got VP of IT, you know, that interview. They wanted me 5 days a week, which I said I can do because it's in my town. They were still looking through. And then, of course, I felt it's too much big jump for me. Of course, at least I was surprised that they considered that I fit that. And they came to me, the director of HR, she interviewed. Okay. So they also like 5 days a week in office.
Got it.
Okay.
So that kind of paves the way for your future. Like, so if you can land a VP level interview right now in which you have demonstrated to yourself, and a couple of years down the line when you feel like, hey, at a director level where I have established and proven my mettle, let me take up the next bigger challenge, and perhaps that would be like you already have a proof of concept going on for you. So that's great.
Yeah. I think that was one thing with this whole process. I was like, okay, they at least somebody came for a VP position, so that's good. But yeah, coming to your team, they really helped, and I would love to recommend to anyone. Of course, I think my husband would be the next. He'll definitely come to you soon.
Got it. Which it was funny because like it seems we contacted your husband first, and then you end up becoming our client, and then
he said that he's been following you for a while because you contacted him, and he's like, go with him. I think he can get you that.
That's amazing. Now, from your own perspective, think of somebody similar in your own shoes. So let's just say if somebody were struggling in this job search process, what advice would you give them in terms of like, hey, how do you keep your cool? Because like as a job seeker, you have your own perspective about things which we can never have. What is it that you would tell them, so somebody who's struggling in the market?
It's like, my own experience, okay, yeah, some days are good, some days are bad. Sometimes you feel positive, but whenever you get an email, especially on a Friday, that, okay, we went with other candidates, that's when I think that hope goes down. But I felt like with this, like, no, if it is for you, it'll come to you, kind of. That's what I just needed one interview. Yeah. I know I can crack it. I wanted that one interview, and it happened. So that was my hope all through, like, okay, if a job is for you, it'll come to you. That's one thing. And the second one is if I get one interview, I can crack it. So I'm waiting for that one interview, submitting like 20, 30, okay, one will come to me. So that's where I think it worked.
That's awesome.
Of course, there were ups and downs. Sometimes you feel...
Yeah. One of the things, I guess, what we did notice about working with you, and this is one of like, internally we say like, hey, who is an ideal client to work with? And like that kind of behavior is the one that we want. It's like, regardless of, perhaps in our discussions, you never let us feel like, hey, that because of whatever results we are seeing, and most of the times it's not going to be a pleasant result, and most of the times it's going to be rejections. But like, you stayed very prompt in responding. You stayed very prompt in kind of like doing your side of the things, sending out those outreaches, sending out like applying for the roles. Which why that matters is like
it's not like okay, after a month I'm like I can yell at you and say, oh, you guys are not doing it. No, right? I always felt it's a team. That's what I think Sarthak and Karan are like, okay, she's a little different, and they're like, oh, you're already giving an interview. Like you're like, they saw me like, okay, she's like, yeah, I felt happy too because you're supporting me. I need your support. I came to you, right? So I felt like it's a partnership.
Yeah. Now, having landed this result, when do you start?
I asked them November 18th. I wanted to take some.
Okay, nice.
Because I have to drive to downtown. They said 3 days. Downtown is far. It's like 1 hour, 15 minutes drive for me.
Oh, God.
And downtown, it can be 2 hours sometimes. It's
depending on Chicago traffic.
You're in
Portland.
Oh, Portland. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have been to Chicago. I am familiar multiple times, and I'm familiar with the traffic. So.
Yeah, it gets bad. But they're like, oh, you'll be talking to all the executives. You need to be here. I'll be working with the 25 manufacturing plants they have in US.
Oh, okay.
I need to travel to Canada. They have everything, and they're like, you have to be. Then I told them I'll come 6 to 1, 6 a.m. to 1:30 because I have 2 kids. I told them I'll do 6 to 1:30. Then that HR is like, oh, your boss, VP also does the same timing. He comes early and leaves early. I'm like, that works then. So, yeah, that's one of my bargain. And of course, you did say negotiation if you need help. So usually I'm not a negotiator kind of person. But then I had to because I have already planned vacation 21st to 31st. I told them, that will not go into my vacation. You will be giving me first. I want it out of it. And they agreed on that part.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's one thing. And this one that I'll come early and few things. But Yeah.
Now this is interesting because like it seems like in next 4 to 5 years you guys are going to be empty nesters. That's the reason why I say that is that's typically a lot of our clientele that when they're moving to VP level and then they're looking to explore the entire United States market, like hey, now we can go anywhere, or like we have much more freedom, if you will, right? That's when they make that jump. Perhaps like that also aligns with your timeline, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, that is exciting.
So yeah, when I got the VP, I got very much confident, but I felt like I need to go step by step. So I was like, then that's the reason I took it. And this has a lot of scope, this particular position. And the company, if you see, OFI, it's expanding and their product, like they're growing good.
That's great.
And like, if I'm struggling with anything, I'll definitely come to you. Now I know where to because this is really helpful. I felt good.
No, I'm very appreciative of like you initially, of course, putting your faith in us and then following the process through. And of course, this is to me like the best part of my job, and like a lot of that has been delegated, to be honest. Like the best part of my job is like taking calls like these, where like hey, there has been a good result. Let's talk to our clients. So that's always good. How do you plan on celebrating?
Oh no, I mean like. I have a few friends. Today, actually, they're taking me for dinner, but celebrating is more like with my kids.
Yeah.
I want to go to Vegas, but I've been planning for 5 years now.
Oh.
So I thought to, but I have a lot of things going on before November 18th. First, I was like, I'll just drive and see in the morning how the day is and then look at the train because I'm always local. I was driving here, all my jobs. So I have a lot of groundwork to do now.
Yeah.
Take a train, see how it happens, and take it.
It's
so
like
all that.
Chill time.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah, friends are like excited, family's excited that I'm in the next level. So it's good.
Nice. It was indeed great having you on as our client. It was indeed, of course, great having this conversation right here. And yeah, I would love to stay connected with you and see like how your career shapes out. Perhaps.
Sorry, I don't know. He doesn't do that much.
Trust me, like I recently became a new parent the first time, 1 month old.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so what's been happening is sometimes when I'm taking calls from home, it's just like, sometimes it's just incessant, random. So he starts crying, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
It's
they
like-
don't stop. Sometimes.
So totally,
Yeah,
totally understandable.
I mean, like when you're in call, it's very like you get frustrated, but yeah,
but
like, it's
these
so
guys can't
good.
do much. Like
Yeah, you can't do much, and like sorry, but this one I don't know. Today he's being too persistent.
how
Yeah.
old is he?
He's 8 years old. It's
Oh.
a big golden actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. You want to be on the call? Yes. Already excited.
Yeah,
I feel
I mean,
like.
he has a phone on. He's a little sick, so
Okay.
that's why he's like
Got it.
big dog.
Hey, it was great chatting with you, Srilata, and thank you for providing me with your feedback. If there's anything in the future, in the meanwhile, we can help you with, feel free to reach out, and I'll stay connected with you.
Sure. Thank
Then,
you so much, Varun.
And I'll
I mean,
extend your feedback to Karan and Sarthak. Let them know that they feel good when they know that they have done a good job.
Oh yeah. Karthik is also like whenever I have a call, and I think a smile on a face will always help the client.
Yeah.
And he's the one who told me, Shri, we didn't apply for more jobs. Don't worry, people are late. 200 jobs they applied.
There have been.
I mean that I think after 1 month that was just sitting in my mind. Okay, Karthik said that, so we can wait, we can get it. So I think some words. I think a few things your team is doing is really good. Like it's smile on a face, keeping cool, and giving what, that words mean a lot sometimes, when you're like not getting calls. So good job on the
Thank
whole.
you.
So
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for
You have a
day.
great
I'm
rest of
so
your
sorry
day.
with my-
No worries at all. Thanks a lot. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.